In this video, you are going to learn how to use Google Forms to collect information from your clients or customers that you might need in order to do work for them. We're going to start by going to our Google Drive and going to the waffle that's in the right-hand corner. Click the waffle and you'll see all of the Google apps. Your Google Form icon might be differently placed than mine. Mine is at the very bottom, but it's the purple one. So you'll click on Forms. From here, we're just going to start a new form. When you create a new form, the first thing you'll want to do is give it a title. I'm going to change it from untitled form to aerating work orders, because I'm going to be collecting work orders for my aerating business. Right here you can give a description. I'm going to say just the year, 2022, fall season. Now that I have my title for my form, a quick way to make sure that my file is the same name as the form title is to go up into the top left-hand corner where it says Untitled Form. Put your cursor there and just click it. It'll automatically grab the title of your form and put it as the title of the document. So now my form is titled Aerating Work Orders, 2022 Fall Season, and I'm ready to start adding questions. Before I dive into that, I do want to just orient you to how Google Form is organized. You'll see at the very top, we're in the question section of Google Form. There's a responses and a settings. We're going to visit these both after we create our questions. So we'll start by adding a question. And the first question you always want to capture is the name of your client or your customer. So to make this the most friendly for you, you might want to choose to ask for the first name separately from the last name. And I'll explain that to you when we go to look at responses. And you have choices. Right now it defaults it to a short answer, but if you wanted to, you could allow a paragraph. Of course, we don't need a paragraph. We just really need a short answer. It's just a one word for their first name. But notice that there are other options. You could choose multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. Again, these aren't applicable to this kind of question or information that we're gathering. So we're going to leave it as short answer. This is a required question, so in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to turn that on, and you'll notice it turns purple. Okay, so this first question looks good. Now, since we're going to do almost the exact same thing for the last name, I'm just going to duplicate this question by clicking on that little duplicate icon right there. It automatically captures everything, the type of question, that it's required, and all I'm going to do is now say last name. All right, so I'm 2 down. Now we're ready to add another question. It's not going to be at all like this one, so we're going to use this plus button. You'll see there's a menu over here. There's to add a question, to import questions, which we're not doing today, to change the title or description, add an image, add a video, and add a section. None of these are applicable for what we're doing today, so we're just going to click on Add a Question. And we want to know our customer or client's address. So we're just going to ask for the address. And notice that Google Forms intuitively knows that I'm going to need more than a short answer, so it's defaulted it to paragraph, which is perfect for what we need. And this is, again, a required question. I'm going to go and hit my add question again, and I'm going to ask for a phone number because I want to make sure I know how to get a hold of my customer. This is defaults to short answer. That looks good, and it's going to be a required question. Next question. Here's where I want to find out what they need. What services do you need? And there could be more than one choice. So I'm going to use the pull down menu. I don't want to do multiple choice because it only lets them choose one of my choices. I want to use check boxes because they might need more than one service. So option 1, I'm going to change to aerating up to 1 acre. Option 2 is aerating between 1 and 2 acres. This is important information because it's going to affect how you're going to price this. So you want to know, is their aerating needs going to be up to 1 acre? That might be one price. If it's between 1 and 2 acres, it might be a different price. The other option that you might want to ask them is if they need seeding. You can add more questions. You can delete a question. You can also rearrange it. Let's say you wanted the phone number to be given before they actually give you the address. So you can just drag right where those little dots are. You'll see the icon changes to arrows going in all directions, and then it allows you to reorder your questions. So that just will affect how your clients or customers see the form. Okay, we are going to now see what options we have in our settings. So we're going to go up to this menu bar. We're in questions. We're going to go to responses in a minute, but now we're going to go to settings. So you could make this a quiz. You don't need to do that. But here's where we do want to look at is the second section titled responses. So if we click the down arrow, you can automatically collect their email address, which could be very helpful for you. You could send your responders a copy of the response when I think that would be super helpful so that they can remember what did they actually request from you as far as work order. The next section says allow response editing. Yes, we do want our customers to be able to edit that. Maybe they made a mistake and say, oh yeah, I forgot to, I do want to do seeding or whatever it might be. So this turning this on allows them to edit their response. And you want to limit it to one response. No, for this particular situation, that's not important right now. So that's all we're going to do in settings. Now let's go to responses. So this is where you will see the responses to your survey. You'll see here it says waiting for responses because nobody's taken our survey yet. You are accepting responses. This is already turned on for you. But what I love about Google Forms is that you can see their form responses just in the way you created the form, which is where it would show up right here. But I think the most powerful thing is if you click on this green icon, this creates a Google spreadsheet, and it's going to create a new one. I could add it to an existing one, but for this purpose, we're just going to do it this way. And all the information is going to show up in a spreadsheet. So I think this is so helpful to you because you could, first of all, see a timestamp that just automatically tells you when they actually did the survey. It shows the email address. Remember, we chose that option to automatically collect the email address, so they don't have to type that in again. It'll automatically show up. It'll show their first name separate from their last name, phone number, address, and what services they need. And remember, on this one, there could be multiple things that they choose. Now, if I wanted to order this by last name, I could just choose the row D, column D, and I can go up here to my data, and I can sort the sheet by column D. So now my surveys will all be ordered by their last name.